So tonight, guys, we are teaching you not about how to avoid cancer, but how to go and beat cancer, how to build your immune system to a point where you can attack cancer cells, you can knock them dead, you can kick them out of your body. Does that make sense? So in our country right now, you're going to see statistics like 1 out of every 3 people, well, another study came out, they're saying it's almost up to 1 out of every 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their life. My goal for you would be to empower you right now so that would not be you. Or if you're fighting cancer, so that your body could turn on the healing and clear that stuff out. Man, I'm winded. They say right now, though, why is this important? They say 700,000 people per year are dying of cancer in our country. It's the #2 leading cause of death. Compared to 40 years ago, when we started the war on cancer, how much better is it? It's not better. It's really not getting anywhere because we're not doing the natural things we need to do. The inspiration for this talk came from one of my friends who is successfully, for 3 years now, he was diagnosed 3 years ago with stage 4 brain cancer. And they basically gave up on him. He's now been cancer-free for over a year. A lot of the stuff, the talk tonight, he put together a lot of it. He's a chiropractor in Chicago. But it's crazy, though, even if you're into health, a lot of this stuff still happens to people who seem like they're pretty healthy, people who eat right, people who exercise. So for you, for your family, tonight is not just about getting you well, but it's about learning the strategies to prevent it in your kids, your grandchildren, because what you do and what you teach them makes a big difference. Does that make sense? So this information, you might be the only person that tells somebody. So when you go to your friend's house for dinner, when you go to church, when you go to work, spread the information about health and wellness because people need you. Do you see our numbers in terms of healthcare? We are not ranking very highly. We have lots of sick people, lots of people taking lots of pills, not feeling well. So our goal is to change that. So Cancer 101, your body kills cancer cells every single second. In that second, you killed a bunch of them. Cancer doesn't make you sick. You develop cancer when your body can't kill cancer cells. What I'm trying to say is, sitting here tonight, you're not going to catch cancer from the air. It's a mistake that happens inside of our cells, our tissues, that our body's not able to recognize and get rid of and correct. You know what I mean? So there's things we can do to make our body stronger, to make it respond faster, to make it have better success rates. So your health and your lifestyle dictate how well your body can kill cancer cells. So the thing that you'll see here, and this is awesome, a professor at Northwestern University Medical talks about, any given time, we have within our body between 100 and 10,000 cancer cells at any time. So I'm not saying that, it's a problem that we all suffer from. We're all preventing it, or we're all building it based on our lifestyles, our actions, our thoughts, our emotions. So you're in control. They find this stuff. It's almost 95% controllable by us. So you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to give up. Your body can heal from this kind of thing. If the immune system is weakened, the cancer cells will establish themselves and they can flourish. So we can change this stuff, though. So what is cancer? You guys know this stuff. Every cell has a life cycle. Cancer is when the cell does not die. Cells have, when you look at the cell biology, they have little checkpoints, and they get to certain parts, and they're supposed to have things that actually figure out if there's a problem or not, and if there's a problem, they're supposed to get rid of it. Somehow cancer cells are figuring out how to get past that, or the checkpoint system isn't working, so we're going to teach you how to change that. So these abnormal cellular growth, it should be cleared out by your immune system. Mythbuster. How about this one? Cancer is genetic. How many of you guys have people in your families that have cancer or have suffered with cancer? Everybody. Same thing with heart disease. My grandmother, type 2 diabetes at age 40. If I live the same lifestyle, if I do the same things, I'm going to get the same results. But they say now that 95% of the stuff is controllable by lifestyle. So we can change this stuff. It's so essential that we do it, though. 100% of cancer, though, is influenced by diet factors. What do I mean by 100%? All of it, right? Yeah. Because people come in and they're like, well, what about my friend that already has cancer? Well, you still have to do all the right things to help your body heal. So in our office, I can't tell you take a drug, not take a drug, do a surgery, not do a surgery, but I can tell you your body only heals with a healthy nervous system, only heals with the proper nutrition, the proper detoxification, the proper thoughts and emotions. So you can control a lot of that stuff. And regardless of whether you have cancer, somebody you know or you love has cancer, you can change that stuff. You are in control. So that, you can see I'm kind of redundant on that. But yeah, we had a young person recently who came in our office in his 30s who was having a heart problem. And he talked about his family had heart issues, but even if you have the odds stacked against you, you don't have a choice other than to do all the healthy things required to get the best out of your body. And that's all you can do. And here in our office, we walk you through the process. Anytime you guys have questions, you want more time with me, or if you have, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you get those changes holistically, though. It's not just one little answer. In America, how's it going, though? Yeah, it's insanity. So right now, even looking at things like lung cancer, last year from the CDC, there were over 200,000 people diagnosed with lung cancer. And these are not random people. These are our family members, our friends, our coworkers. Of those people, the majority of them died from it. It's pretty intense. So health-wise, as much as everybody wants to feel good, there's a part of health you have to look at. Like, this is about you living to your potential, you accomplishing your mission on earth. I mean, health has to be a priority. If it's not a priority, that's a problem. Because I ask people the question, if you could run out of two things, you have two choices. Run out of health or run out of money. What would you choose? Everybody would choose money. Yet in our culture, it seems like we work so hard, we abuse our bodies, we don't take care of ourselves, and then we get to the point where we're ready to retire or do all this fun stuff we wanted to do, and we don't have our health. So I worked in Naples. My friend is a chiropractor. You may have heard the story in Peru. He has a guy who owns a gold mine, and he's consistently making his adjustments. He brings his whole family to get adjusted because he understands the value of health. He says, all the people I hang out with, they're all billionaires. Most of them they can't even move around. They're not healthy. They're not vibrant. They have no life. Even if they have $1 billion, I mean, you saw the guy from Mac who just died of cancer, all that money couldn't save him. So this stuff tonight is really valuable. The treatments typically people use, you'll see this stuff. They talk chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, drugs, transplantations. The question we have from a common sense point of view, is cancer caused by a lack of any of those? Did you just walk down the street and not get enough radiation? Should we all be preventatively on chemotherapy medications? Is this the way? So it doesn't make sense. So that's one of the things when you come in our office. Our goal is to find the cause of your problem to help you holistically get better, to help your body heal itself. Nobody thinks the more chemicals I pour down your throat, the healthier you're going to be. Yet that's what we're told, or cutting out our organs is the answer to the problems. Yet you look at the system, and it isn't working for people that I know. So we're changing that. So history of chemotherapy. You guys probably, if you read Natural News, if you're reading any Mercola.com, they've got lots of articles on this. Chemo initially came from a chemical warfare agent during World War I. If you read some of the quotes from oncologists, it will blow your mind the things they say about these drugs, because they see it every day. I mean, they see what it does to people. First drug was called mustine. Yeah, these chemotherapy only kill fast-growing cancer cells. If you had to guess, are most cancers that develop in our body fast-growing or slow-growing? Slow. Most of the time, it takes years and years and years. Even with our most advanced testing, we can't usually see cancer problems until there's billions of cells. Usually it's taken over 10 years before anybody ever shows a sign of that stuff. When would you want to know you had a problem? So we look more preventatively by looking at your nervous system, looking at your lifestyle. We want to fix those areas so that you don't end up developing that problem in the first place. Does that make sense? So side effects. What are some of the side effects of this? I've seen when people I've seen closely, definitely they feel sick and nauseous all the time. They have problems in terms of they can cause deafness. Skin is a very good gland for detoxifying the body. So when you're pulling those toxins out, how's that skin doing? It's really, yeah. People change color. Yeah. And they can't touch people because they can't be around their grandkids. They can't pick them up. I mean, so toxicity is a huge one. Pain, some side effects, organ issue. So this is nothing, it's 100% considered poisonous. So this is obvious. So we're going to try to do our best to help people prevent it. So the question we have for people is, the whole idea is revolver or revolution. Are you going to do a health revolution, or are you going to take something that's most likely to kill you? Because when you look at these movies, like if you ever want to borrow a movie that'll kind of like inform you but might make you sick, it's called Cut, Burn, Poison. You can watch it on Netflix. It's a new documentary about the history and what we're doing with cancer treatment. Another one is called Healing Cancer from the Inside Out. A lot of these movies have tons of the science, tons of the experts talking about how what we've done for years and years is not working to cure cancer. So that's why we're trying to change things. The other one's called Cut, Burn, Poison. I'm going to sneak out and I'll grab them so you can actually see the cover so you can know which ones. So this one is called Cut, Burn, Poison. In the war on cancer, the disease is only half the battle. I mean, it talks about the fact that, this is a huge economic industry. Do you know what I mean? People are making, even some of the different charities. I mean, I don't want to get too over the top about this, but charity-wise, a lot of times, I mean, your money isn't necessarily going to prevention. It's not necessarily going, it's going oftentimes to pharmaceutical companies that are making lots of money off this stuff. You've probably, and then healing cancer from the inside out. This will give you some actual steps like we're talking about tonight you can actually start doing. So these are, you can always borrow these. We can help you find copies of them if you want copies for yourself. So the chemotherapy, it kills the fast-growing cells, but it doesn't kill the slow-growing cells. So you need to create your body to be a cancer killer, not just kill off the fast ones. So you'll see a lot of times people will take chemo, the tumors will shrink down, they stop taking chemo, they go back to the same lifestyle that caused it, and what comes back? The same thing. My friend's mom, you guys may have seen her testimonial, we play it on TV here. My friend Dr. X, his mom, breast cancer. She did chemo, went away. 5 years later, breast cancer came back along with liver and different organs. So that's when we were in chiropractic college in Florida. She started doing chiropractic care. She started cleaning up her diet. She started doing a lot of spiritual things to clear her mind with prayer and things. She did all the different 5 essentials we teach here. And what's she doing today? She's cancer-free. She's alive. You watch her video, and it's been, I think it's been, what, 5 years? Man, I'm getting old. Yeah. So she's saying now that basically she feels younger now than she did 20 years ago because of the lifestyle changes. But I want you to realize, though, she had to every single day make that choice to make the healthy changes and healthy choices. Do you know what I mean? It's easier, and this is one of the things I talk to people about, it's easier to stop doing chiropractic. It's easier not to eat healthy. It's easier to go home and just like do what everybody else around you is doing, but what kind of results do you get? So, yeah, so some of this stuff is pretty revolutionary. So we always talk about, and this is what we teach on, we're focused on the 5 essentials. We're one of about 500 offices around the world that does this, and we're always growing all over the world. We talk about the 5 causes of cancer being stress, poor nutrition, poor fitness, improper workouts, toxicity, and subluxation or nerve damage. Those are all the causes. Those are our 5 essentials that we teach about all over every little thing we hand out.
Is that just in random order?
This is, well, yeah, random order. We're going to start from the top, though. We're going to go through it and keep it organized here. So stress. One of the questions I want people to ask themselves when you're stressing about things. 1, can you control it? Really? 2, will you care in 5 years or will you care in 50 years? I get stressed out and I'm kind of like trying to be too organized about things. I could be a little bit anal. I get stressed out about the dumbest stuff. But when you look at the physiology, example, like if you don't get in a car accident, you almost get in a car accident, you have the exact same physiology in your body as if you actually got in the accident. So stress, emotions, our thoughts, the things we focus on, the relationships that we have that are stressful, that we never actually get to the root of it, we never solve the problem, these things fuel us. So when I see people that come in with cancer, heart disease, a lot of times it's not even lifestyle, it's because of an emotional thing with a family member or something that happened. Story after story, there's always a link there. So this is something that is huge. So we need to start being proactive. We need to go on the offense. In the mornings, we talk about doing our spiritual triathlon. You get up in the morning, you have quiet time, you read something healing and helpful, and you actually get just kind of focus on yourself and on healing. A lot of times people will write like a gratitude journal. It's important the first time when you get up in the morning to do something that's healing like that. You don't want to turn on the news first thing in the morning. That is not going to help you to de-stress. That's going to help you to totally... So when you stress, though, what kind of hormones do you release? Cortisol, yeah. They basically make you crave carbohydrates. They make your muscles and things break down. This stuff is real. So we didn't used to think about this stuff. Now we talk about psychosomatic, how it affects everything. So what's the true cost of being stressed all the time, financially, emotionally, and physically? I have so many people that come in every time. They're like, I'm so stressed with my coworker. I'm so stressed with my job. And they always feel miserable. They always hate what they're doing. I mean, this is your existence. We're here for around 180 to 120 years. I mean, if you don't like what you're doing job-wise, if you have a coworker who's driving you crazy, you got to deal with it because long-term, that's building sickness and that's piling it on. As simple as it sounds, that could be $1 million life-saving change for a few of you that I know of, that I hear about all the time. No, too many options. So you look at this stuff today and you're like, well, I've got so many choices, I'm almost paralyzed in what direction to go in. So we're going to walk you down that path today. Some of the basic ones, getting consistently adjusted, going through our nutrition plan book here. This is one you should read in our office or you should get for home. The advanced plan is what you want to be on to prevent cancer. The basic plan is kind of like the core, it's called a core plan. That's what everybody should be on regardless. If you really want to prevent stuff, though, go on the advanced plan. Exercise-wise, you should be looking at things like our Max T3, which is our 12-minute workouts, which we talked about last seminar. And then proper supplementation. We're going to walk you through only a few of those tonight because we don't want you to be a supplement junkie. I don't want to see you guys carrying like a cart behind you and eating supplements instead of eating real food. Supplements are still supplemental to a really healthy diet. I'm not going to try to sell you a ton of them and get you, yeah. So what do we want to avoid? We're going to simple stuff like avoiding food dyes, additives, and preservatives. You guys know things like thyroid disease is totally linked to additives in our foods. Yeah. Oh, allergic reactions. Have you guys ever seen kids who are allergic to like red dye number 40? Isn't it crazy? I mean, I used to work at a boys' home in Binghamton, and the second they ate that, it was like they just, speed didn't even explain. It was insanity. So these things we're putting into our bodies, we don't even think about it. The average child I see walking around, putting a thing of Skittles down, drinking a soda, I mean, really. I get really... Gatorade, yeah. Isn't it mind-blowing? And the troubling thing is that we get these things ingrained in our mind from the companies that sell them for years. Like, people come in and they tell me about the benefits of all these different products and things, and I'm like, have you really looked at it? That's what the advertisement says, but that's not necessarily the science behind it. So in our culture, these things are some of the biggest things we can avoid. We're going to go into the details in a little bit, but eliminating sugar. Have you guys heard of Otto Weinberg? He's the guy who got the PhD studying cancer. Talked about how cancer cells feed off a sugary, acidic environment. So we want to get rid of sugars, like the advanced plan. We want to get rid of the acidic environment. We want to alkalize. Lots of green, leafy things. When you look at that nutrient density chart we talk about from Joel Furman, lots of the stuff on the upper sector. So in terms of like kale, collard greens, spinach, everybody here could eat spinach. You don't have to cook it. You can put it underneath things. Today I had spinach almost every day. I put it in my smoothie in the morning. I put it at lunch. I made some eggs, spinach. I've been making these things where I take the cabbage leaf, put stuff in there, make a cabbage wrap instead of using bread. It's actually pretty good. It's cheap too. So cancer cells have more receptors for sugar. So how do we know about this stuff? It's not good. So when they do these scans, they use sugar as a radioactive sugar molecule to identify cancer. So cancer cells really go crazy for sugar. So our advanced plan, I want to go through a little bit about it with you. In this book, it's on page 49. We go through and it talks about what it helps with. So this resource-wise, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you. So you're going to be eliminating things like grains, any grains in the advanced plan. You're going to get rid of most fruits except for berries. This is not something you have to be on for the rest of your life. Usually it's like a tool. You would use it short term. You would go through and not overdo it with protein. So this walks you through in terms of foods that you can eat on a moderate level, things like artichokes, leeks, turnips, black beans, kidney beans, carbohydrates that you would want to increase. You want to eat more of these ones. So it would be like arugula, beets, collard greens, eggplant. Walks you through this stuff. And there's nothing easier than this. Goes through the nutrient density chart here. So your best foods, kale, bok choy, spinach. So you know what to eat. We also, in this book, we have a shopping guide where it tells you all the ones with the arrow pointed up, like coconut flour. You can still cook with that. So you can make pastries with coconut flour. It's gluten-free. It's not going to cause problems in your body. I've been using a lot of almond flour. I made some crepes yesterday. They were really good. So anything with the arrow pointed up, that's the advanced plan. This is in the book. We also give you guys copies of this so you can have a shopping list, helps you to shop with. And you go to the back of the book here, all of the recipes with the arrow pointed up. Those are all advanced plan recipes. So you can literally figure out why to eat it. You can figure out a shopping list of what to buy. You can look at the recipes. We also have videos online that show people making the same recipes. I mean, could it be any simpler? But this kind of stuff, though, multiply it out times a few months, and you're reversing chronic problems. This is one of the underlying causes of stuff. So if you can't read it, you don't want to eat it. Can I really stick to it? I would set yourself a goal of doing, everybody says no, of doing 8 weeks or 3 months. Set your deadlines short. If you can't really do it very long, try a week of doing the advanced plan. That's all you got to do is push yourself for a week and then see how you feel in a week. So, yeah, that's the recommendation. This is not just a diet, this is a lifestyle. But again, if you look at the advanced plan and the core plan, you can switch back and forth. If you're like overdoing it and you say, you know, I can't eat like this anymore, I've got to take a break, you go back to the core plan. You just change up a little bit. So those are some real simple ideas that will make a big difference. How about food meat-wise? You guys have heard about this, right? So meat-wise, that it takes 5 to 8 pounds of chemically sprayed grain to produce 1 pound of beef. So what should you change out first? Should you change out vegetables and fruits or meats? Which one should you go organic with first? Yeah, it makes sense, right? We talk about the law of biological concentration, and that if the cows had to eat all those pounds, their flesh is going to have more toxins than, say, you know, an apple. So this would be the first change to make, because people say, well, I can't afford to go all organic. I can't buy everything organic. Well, start with meats. Things like venison typically are quite good. Grass-fed beef. We recommend the Shufflers out in Groton. There's other ones in the area, though. Things like really healthy options. Lots of good fats are essential. So coconut is really good fat. Almonds. We do a lot of we're doing a lot of almond milk and coconut milk. So if you look at this, though, on average, 1 glass of inorganic store-bought milk contains the residue from 100 different antibiotics. How do those antibiotics react with your immune system? Yeah, not very well. So we're chronically having our immune system challenged by these things. So it's so important that if you're going to do milk, we strongly recommend finding a healthy farmer that does raw milk, or finding a place to get organic milk that's healthy. I mean, it's a huge deal. So this is one of the biggest steps, because say throughout your day, a lot of people eat meat twice a day, or they use milk products like 2 or 3 times a day. That chronic repetition is what is driving the damage in the body. Does that make sense? Can you guys make the changes? Can you do that? Can you go home, if you made one change by like doing organic meat times the next 5 or 10 years, guess what? What about your kids that they don't even know, they don't have any input, or your grandkids or nieces and nephews? What if they're eating the healthier meat now? What are their chances of developing cancer? So this is multi-generational. Also, you're going to support your local farmer, which is huge. How about processed meats? It's baseball season. Everybody wants to get those crazy hot dogs, and yeah. They look at it, banned in most countries in terms of some of these different chemicals that are in there. They found processed meats, 67% increase in pancreatic cancer. Your pancreas, your gallbladder has to work overtime to try to digest all these bad fats and all these chemicals in here. It depends what's in there. I hesitate with things like veggies. We have a lot of people that come in that are, like, my wife was pescatarian. We have lots of vegetarians and vegans that come in. But if you're not eating a natural food, so like when you look at like Boca burgers, they're made, if you look at the ingredients, I mean, the list is literally this long, and you can pronounce maybe 1 or 2 of the ingredients. So it needs to be made from something natural. There are places in the area that do a veggie burger from actual real vegetables, and they taste terrific. Some people have black bean burgers that are quite good. Those are healthy. But when you look at that food label, if you can't read them, there's no way your body can digest it. So it's going to clog you up. It's going to cause tissue damage, cell damage. You're going to have to work really hard to detoxify it. So getting rid of the hot dogs and things. How about fitness and cancer? We talked about that last month. Fitness is essential for strengthening your immune system, detoxifying the body, balancing hormones. Is all exercise created equal? What do you guys think? No way. So the details of it. We talk about, first of all, I want you to realize any exercise is better than no exercise at all. Does that make sense? Yes. To a certain point. The other end of that statement is, though, if you're someone who's doing like training for an Ironman and you're running like 7 to 10 hours a week, once you get over that like 5 to 6 hours of exercise per week mark, it starts to detract from your immune system. You'll see these people. I worked on a really awesome Iron woman in Florida. After her competitions, she was sick for weeks, if not months, because of the stress it put on her immune system. So what's the science behind this stuff? When you do things like long cardio workouts, it stimulates cortisol, which causes your appetite to go up. has catabolic properties, so it can cause like muscle breakdown. So you're not going to get ripped. You're going to see the flabby ones. The slide that we usually show, we show a sprinter. Think of a sprinter, how they're like ripped and lean, versus like your marathon runner, who's typically sometimes flabby and kind of like looks degenerated. Yeah. This is going to basically inhibit or slow down exercise recovery, and too much cardio is going to reduce your testosterone and growth hormone. So running, the benefit of it, it does help your heart. It is going to release endorphins, which are going to make you feel really good. I love to run, even though it's not, I don't recommend doing too much of it, but it's great. I mean, it's a great way, like when I go to visit different cities, it's a great way to see a lot of the city, to go see all these different places. You can, but typically you only want to run, I would say 1 to 2 days per week. If you're a person training for these long distance things, you're actually probably either causing more damage to your joints or your immune system, just to be realistic. So we teach a lot about our Max T3, are our 12-minute high-intensity, short-duration workouts, where usually you're doing anywhere from 20 seconds to a minute of high-intensity exercise followed by resting. So you can get done with a workout in 12 minutes. It's pretty awesome. We divide them up. There's upper body, lower body, there's surge training, there's core. So it walks you through. You get 2 discs. You get, I think, 12 different exercise sessions. One starts at 20-second intervals, one's a minute intervals. So it's pretty awesome. I really highly encourage you to do that. The good thing about this is that this helps your body to burn fat continuously for 36 hours. Who wants that? Yeah. Yes. Versus basically causing your body, the other one is going to cause your body to crave carbohydrates and to burn muscle. So you see people all the time, and you have friends like this who work out every day or work out 5 times a week for the last 10 years, and they're stuck at a certain point. They're not at the fitness level they want to be at, and they're frustrated. If they heard this stuff, if they were informed by you, or if somebody showed them a video of this, or it could be that little switch that not only prevented them from getting cancer, but helped them feel better and function better and have more fun. So the other thing of surge training, it improves circulation. Why is circulation important? It's the only way to flush your body out. Exactly. So we have our lymphatic system. So our lymphatic system, you guys know, is the sewer system of the body. If we get a dead cell, if we get toxins from air pollution, toxins from our food, it eventually, after the body kicks it out, it kicks it into the lymphatic system. Lymphatic has to drain. It drains actually into your arteries up here. That's why almost all the time people tell me they have colds, I'm feeling like phlegmy, I'm congested. A lot of times it's because your whole body drains the lymphatics up into the neck area, so they get really congested. After it drains into the blood, your immune system then goes and cleans it out and gets rid of the stuff. But when we look at exercise, it's one of the few things you can do to move that lymphatic system around. You'll notice, though, lymph node-wise, a lot of times people get like a lymph node that's not healthy. They go in with surgery and they cut out the lymph node. How does that actually help when you're trying to circulate things? It can actually, so there are times, and I'm not an expert on surgery and things like that, but there's a time when it's probably a good thing, times when it's going to probably cause further problems. So something to look at would be doing the proper exercise, proper intervals, so that you can actually fix the cause of the problem. How about longevity? How many of you, have seen the study where we talk about men's basically lifespan? Has anybody seen this? So we look at people who are unfit and people who are fit, and you look at their basically death risk, how likely they are to die. So people that are in it's almost double in every category. So if you were, under 25, over 25% or under 17% body fat, you still look at it, and almost all of them are double. So what is it worth to take that 12 minutes per day or 12 minutes of 6 out of 7 days a week to get in awesome shape? Also, when you're 60, 70, 80, and you can move and you can pick things up and play with your grandkids, what's the quality of life? Yeah, that's awesome. So we talk about the cruise ship or the nursing home. I really want to see all of you guys on the cruise ship. I don't want to see you in the nursing home. So the things we do here are not just about treating symptoms, it's about getting your body healthier. So that a year from today, you'd be a healthier version of yourself, you'd be happier. Because if you want to get rid of symptoms, the simplest way to do that is with Advil, Tylenol, but to fix your health in your body is to have an awesome nervous system with adjustments, is to have the proper nutrition, is to do all the stuff that you need to do. So how about toxicity? Let's get back into it. What are some of the most common toxins in our body? The first one you guys are going to see here from the guy from the U.S. National Cancer Institute, his quote was that fluoride causes more human cancer deaths than any other chemical. So I didn't make this one up. So what's fluoride in? Our water, our toothpaste, our mouthwash. So what I'd love you to do on your notes is write down fluoride, go online, search fluoride, search Mercola, there's a great resource, and look at the details and figure out what you think about that. Because most of the stuff tonight, I'm not saying you should take what I've read and what I've learned, but go home and look into it. So we found fluoride-free toothpaste. We have an example on our shelf over there. Burt's Bees is a good option there. We have a reverse osmosis filter, which goes and takes the fluoride out of our water. Some people distill their water. So I have this weird shower filters that, clears out a lot of the chemicals. The goal is to do all you can to prevent it, because my family, a lot of us don't have good health. So I need to be, just like you guys, doing all the things that I'm telling you to do. How about mold? I have so many people that come in, chronic sinus problems, and all these things, and I ask them about mold. They're like, yeah, my whole basement's full of it. And it's no big deal. I mean, a lot of people, mold spores are a huge issue. It's one of those things, they call it sick building syndrome. They actually can condemn buildings for this stuff now. I can't tell you enough about mold. I mean, if you can eliminate that, a lot of times headaches go away, sinus problems go away. I mean, a lot of the symptoms of your body talking to you. Pesticides. The best way to reduce pesticides, the first thing we talked about was going to the organic meats. The second thing is getting some of our handouts from either our handout area or online, going and searching Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. Do you guys know what those are? They're pretty popular. Goes through the fruits and vegetables. Dirty Dozen are the dirtiest 12, the ones that you need to buy organic, and the Clean 15 are the ones that are typically the cleanest. The interesting thing on study-wise is, you look at, for the last 10 years, almost all the studies on people who've reversed cancer, whether they did Garrison, they did the juicing, or whatever they did, almost all of them, it's non-organic stuff. So, in terms of vegetables and fruits. So I'm saying, though, organic is important, and if you can do that, do that. But at the same time, if you can't afford to do that, go with the Clean 15, the Dirty Dozen, get rid of those meats. That's more of an essential step. Do you know what I mean? Pesticide-wise, fruits and veggies are secondary, the meats are primary. So it's really got to be a change there. Mercury and lead, where do we get those from? Fish, water, amalgam fillings. So when I did my testing, because you can take a chelator, which goes in and pulls out the heavy metals, and then you do a urine test actually, and you can collect it for 6 hours. You send this big vat of it in through the mail. It's pretty glamorous. They sent me back my results, and guess what I'm high in? You guys are like, everything. Mercury, lead. I was high in mercury, lead, and one other one. It's insane. And I was a person, I had 4 fillings at the time, and I was like 29 when I had it done. So my levels were almost off the chart. So you look at it, who's going to have more toxins? Generationally, have you guys noticed that the younger generations have more problems at a younger age now? Our world, is it becoming more toxic or less toxic? Toxicity is one of the huge things that is so essential for the future of our people. So this is one of those things that we really have to look into. If you want more information, I'm happy to provide it for you. It's kind of an individual thing in terms of we walk people through detoxifying it with the proper foods. This one will blow your mind. Did you guys know this stuff? Because most people were told that, an aspirin a day is going to save your life. It's going to prevent heart problems. They used to tell people to take an aspirin a day, regardless. Even if we have people coming in. This guy, he's a soccer coach. I mean, he's like in great shape. He's taking cholesterol drugs preventatively, and he's taking an aspirin a day preventatively because somebody in his family had a heart problem. And it's like, so when the company Bayer tells you to take an aspirin a day, that's a big warning sign, because they are the company that did the research. So the studies came back, and it was in the New York Times. They talked about how they lied in the studies that the aspirin a day isn't going to prevent the problems, that your body within 6 months actually adapts to that and starts making, so anyways. So looking at these things, taking 1 ibuprofen per day for 5 years did what to your breast cancer risk? Increased it by 50%. Taking an aspirin a day for 5 years increased, so that's an ibuprofen, that's an aspirin a day. How about antibiotics? There's a study, they look at it, they say it actually makes a complete, so the more antibiotics you take, it's linked. So how's your immune system, and you think about it though, how does your immune system work if you're constantly loading with antibiotics? Not very well. And then beyond that, if you're eating meats that are full of antibiotics, because 80% of antibiotics go in our food supply in our meats, so this stuff is really common sense, but it's stuff nobody ever told you before. So tonight isn't always like a real feel-good seminar, like the workout one was, but if you make some of these changes, and if you're at least informed so you know you have the choice, that's what you deserve. You deserve to have somebody explain the stuff, because it's not that fun to hear about, honestly. I'd rather hear a lot about other things, but how about the most common toxins? So this kind of goes as a general overview. So we talked about poor nutrition. So we know how to go through that. If you're going to make a step tomorrow, you're going to start reading the book, or you're going to start implementing it. You're going to ask me for some of my favorite recipes, and I'll go through those with you. Ask me questions. I'm here for you guys. The next one would be our environment, getting outdoors. My friend who had stage 4 cancer, they said that something got into his body that actually caused damage to his bone marrow. They said the fact that he lived in 3 new homes in over like a 15-year period, they think that 15 years ago, around then, something got into his bone marrow that started causing the damage. How crazy is that? How, like, you look at it and you're like, well, what blood test? What? Huh? That's insane. But the reality is, for him, that was a weakness. And this is a guy who's better shape than I was in terms of, like, muscularly. Had a pretty good spine. He's a chiropractor. I mean, so if it can happen to somebody who's in the health field, it can happen to anybody. So this information is really important. How about medication side effects? How many of you ever look at those and they say carcinogenic, mutagenic, causes damage to your cells? You are definitely allowed to talk with your doctor. You can go and print off, or we can find them for you, the side effects. And you can go talk to your doctors and say, hey, I see all these side effects. I see the symptom I'm taking it for. Is it really worth it? What are the natural things you would suggest? My crazy chiropractor suggested X, Y, Z, and I'm starting to do them, and I'm doing better. Hey, I'm happy to work with you. It's not about me. It's about you guys getting results here, and being happy with what we're recommending. So a combination of these ones. How about personal care products? You wonder too, because we're used to putting deodorants that have aluminum and all these different toxins right in our armpits. Where does most of the breast cancer develop? Is it over here, or is it over there? Right in that area. So you have to look at that stuff. And I'm not saying for everybody that's a huge issue, but if you're that person that's susceptible, so what we have done, we have different products back there. You can see we have a deodorant that we recommend. If we do the Green Star shopping tour together, I can walk you through theirs. I can tell you about my experiences with burning armpits from certain ones. Hey, you need to know. So how about boosting your immune system? What are some things you can do now, some good things you can do to build yourself up? How about glutathione? Glutathione is your body's molecule that goes in, it takes damaged things and gets rid of them. So glutathione is essential. On a side note, who has more glutathione, women or men? Women. So when we're children, we're going all the way back to as kids, say you have 2 children, typically girls have more glutathione. The problem comes in when we start getting more toxins. So you'll see with boys, the more we feed them toxic stuff, the more we inject them with toxic stuff, they have a more violent reaction than girls do. So you look at some things like autism. There's a lot of different science on this. If you ever get bored, look up glutathione, ADHD, autism, all that stuff, and look up some of the links. There's study after study. This stuff is not, it's not surprising. So if you have questions on that, we're here to help you with that. There's lots of options you have, and I'm not saying you have to stop doing everything, but you can definitely find some help there. So glutathione strengthens your immune system. It strengthens the cells in your body that basically clear out the damage, to detoxify. This also fights inflammation. So foods for glutathione. What foods do you want to crank up? Garlic. Garlic is like the super duper healing food. Onions, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, collard green, cabbage, cauliflower. Recipe-wise, say you're like, I've never eaten cabbage. What do I do with it? What are some good options, guys? Any cabbage people out here? Cabbage soup, right? Yeah. Coleslaw. Yeah, I do that. And I use veganase. If you don't want to use mayonnaise, you can use veganase, which comes out really good. Sauerkraut. Yeah, sauerkraut, fermented food. Really good probiotics. Yep. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Is cabbage expensive? No. You can feed like a family of 8 for like 45 cents. You know what I mean? Kale. We have a really nice kale shake that you guys will recommend. Kale smoothie. Jess has been braising kale quite a bit. That's a neat one. Some people use kale instead of they roll things up in kale in terms of, and then eat it. So instead of the breads, there's a lot of stuff there. Other things that help supplement your body. Selenium. Where do we get selenium? What food? Yep, Brazil nuts. There we go. Maximum you need is like 2 a day. If you're really depleted, you can go up to more than that. Milk thistle, really good for your liver. Things like alpha-lipoic acid and acetylcysteine. Also for glutathione, your high-intensity, short-duration exercise boosts that stuff up. So this burst training we're talking about, you don't have to have all the equipment. You can do burst training with walking, with sprinting, with swimming. I mean, we have videos on it. We're happy to teach you this stuff. Product-wise, if you want to just take something and not change anything, you can go online. We don't have these stock these in the office. You can buy them online, though. They're called Daily Detox. This is one of the most advanced products for detoxifying the cells as well as the whole body. It's pretty amazing. You have to, though, open the body up with healthy fats. So it's essential you get lots of good fats, whether it's wild-caught salmon, walnuts, grass-fed beef, coconut oil. You got to get lots of good fats, and then you could use something like a daily detox. Yeah, this is a pretty awesome one. Next thing, we just started getting what's called the perfect protein. So if you're doing smoothies, this is the best protein. It's coming from this one. Have you tried this one? This is more, so basically this comes from, right. I've tried a lot of the ones from there, and like they have, I don't know, I've even tried some of the vegetarian ones. I haven't found the right vegetarian. So I would recommend trying Perfect Protein. This comes from Green Fed. So you guys may have seen Beyond Organic. They have a farm where they're like feeding cows green, like only green, like real healthy. It's a really neat product. So this is one of the ones that you can start adding in your smoothies if you're trying to get full, trying to get some more protein in there. So we highly recommend that. We're going to start removing the damaged fats, replacing them with healthy fats. We're going to change the meat we're eating. We're going to get tons of vegetables. So fall back recipe. Eat tons of vegetables. That's how simple it is. That's a huge thing for cancer, for detoxifying. How about tests you can do? The 2 tests that I recommend if you're going to talk to your medical doctor that they can get done. In New York, I can't do blood work. I recommend a CRP and a vitamin D3 test. CRP, so C-reactive protein. That's going to tell you your inflammatory levels. Inflammation tells you how much damage and how much irritation is in your body. It's going to let you know how many lifestyle changes you need to make, or if you're at a point where it's exceptionally high, we've got to make a lot of changes. The vitamin D3, I'm going to show you study-wise, it's pretty crazy. This is a researcher from New York. She was on ABC News, Good Morning America. I'm not sure which SUNY school she was at. She did a study looking at cancer cells. Within a few days, half the cancer cells shriveled up and died. She said the vitamin has the same effect as a drug used for breast cancer treatment. Vitamin D3 levels. Crazy, right? How about living in the Northeast? How many months out of the year do we have the right vitamin D3 levels? Never. 2 if we're lucky. So we're supposed to get, I'm pretty sure the amount is 15 minutes of midday sun on 40% of our body exposure. That's tough. I mean, with our commercial lifestyle where we're all in cars and we're, working and, inside. So vitamin D3 is something you can do a blood test. All your doctors, they should be at a point now. Most doctors are at a point where they really understand this stuff, and they're telling people you need to check your vitamin D3. I have a lot of different patients who they supplement. So option-wise, you want to get a good one. The best one that we know of is one of the ones that Maximize Living makes. Again, Maximize Living works with Garden of Life. Have you guys ever seen Garden of Life? They have, they make lots of. They also own Beyond Organics. So it's really high quality. It's whole food supplements. So if you're not getting whole food supplements in terms of it's not really coming from something real, if it's being made in a lab, it's not going to be as healthy as a whole food supplement. So this stuff is really wonderful. This also is packaged with a probiotic in there, so it's going to enhance your digestive system. It's going to help your immune system. Yeah, so it's pretty big deal. Over a 3-year period, taking 2,000 international units of vitamin D3 reduced the incidence of colds and flus to nearly 0. That was in epidemiology. 2,000 international units. Oh. Yep. So a lot of people take anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000. They used to say, you're going to overdo it. It's going to kill your body because it's a fat-soluble vitamin. They've realized now that that's not the case. You can really take quite a bit of vitamin D3.
So you can take at least 2,000 a day.
Right. That's what they're studying. This is a neat study too because they actually were putting it against the flu vaccine. They were saying, well, would you want to get a flu vaccine that might cause crazy side effects, or would you want to take vitamin D3? they did this study, and it was pretty remarkable in terms of, so a lot of times, especially with babies, because like Kale, our son, he's not getting outside too much. We take him out, but we don't want him to get cooked in the sun. We still give him some sun, but we do supplement with vitamin D3. We just put a drop, and then he puts it in his milk. Well, his milk, yeah, the process of eating. But it's pretty awesome. And with kids, I mean, it can make a big difference. You think of, like, especially if your kids are going to preschool, if you're going to schools, they're around a lot of different things. You want a strong immune system. Your body needs to be strong to clear things out. And the difference it can make in terms of their health, their happiness, your happiness, your ability to sleep at night. Yes. So I can't recommend that enough.
You can get it in liquid form, like for infants or something.
Yeah, it comes in drops. So you just put a drop on. If you do milk, you put it on breast. If you're doing breast milk, you can get it for adults. I mean, it's pretty easy. You can also get, if you look like a Nordic Natural, they have a neat one at Green Star. They have a mixture of omega-3s mixed in, like so fish oil, cod liver oil, krill oil, mixed in with vitamin D3. So you can even get to the point where there's things kind of coming together. So you don't have to take so many, in the morning. You don't have to like overdo it with the pills. Yeah. How about what you're already doing? Because what you guys are doing in our office is pretty revolutionary. Your adjustments, which is one of the reasons I got into chiropractic, was the science behind it. The adjustments we're doing on you guys are huge for your long-term health. So not just for treating symptoms, but for helping your body every time you get adjusted, to remove cancer cells, to help your body function at a higher level. So a neat study, they're looking at IL-2, and they talk about how it's important to kill, down here it goes through and it destroys tumor cells, it kills viruses, it's important for cell function. So there was a drug you could take. It was $10,000 a month. They were giving people to boost up their IL-2 levels. So then they started looking at studies, and this is one of the most cool ones. In 2010, they followed, after adjustments, they found that IL-2 was increased following your adjustment, which helps your body with that. They also looked in terms of like long-term with spinal correction. This was in the Chiropractic Osteopathic Journal, talking about correcting your spine, basically having proper alignment, nerves being clear. Your body produces more of this. So it's pretty awesome scientifically the things your body can do, and we can do naturally with you. So it's pretty cool. This was another one. She looked at, a PhD looked at white blood cell count after your adjustment. They found that after your adjustment, your body has what's called a respiratory burst. So basically your immune system is turned up to kill off things after your adjustment within 15 minutes. Wouldn't that be nice for people to know that? Your friends who are having colds all the time, sick all the time, people who can't, digest their food, and they're not, we see people with asthma problems a lot. So it's pretty amazing how this stuff is linked. You've probably seen this from University of Rochester. He talked about how nerve fibers go to virtually every organ in the body that controls your immune system. Anything interferes with these two super systems, your body's out of balance. The study from University of Colorado, we talk about the weight of a dime. That's been found to shut down your nerves 60%. Yeah. So how long do you want the nerves that go for your immune system shut down? How long do you want the nerves to go for your thyroid, for your hands, for your sinuses, having damage? Not a second, right? Yeah, it's really, really simple. So you can look through, and we talk a lot about subluxation, where things are damaged or interfered with, your body produces problems. So it goes through the list. Our goal isn't to treat symptoms, it's to help your body heal and function at a higher level so that you can be a healthier version of yourself every single day. You can live longer, have more fun, be well. You can see the warning signs, and people always say, well, what are these things? In terms of, like, you see headaches, insomnia, fatigue, diabetes, sciatica we see all the time, dizziness all the time, acid reflux. Yeah, these are your body's warning signs. Your body has symptoms. So tonight, when you get in your car, if that oil light pops on, how many of you would take duct tape and duct tape over the oil light? Nobody would, realistically, because your car is going to blow up. With your body, when you have symptoms, you've got to find a natural fix for it. Do you know what I mean? To get rid of it. Nobody's going to say, oh, I have depression because I'm lacking enough, antidepressants. That wouldn't be your first line of thinking. You wouldn't think, oh, I'm just going to take Tums for the rest of my life for acid reflux. Because realistically, you stop taking that, what comes right back? The problem, yeah. Did you ever get to the cause of it? No. So in our office, that's our goal with the 5 Essentials, is to get to the cause of it. Whoa, so you can have a better, healthier life, so you can actually get better. When I look at my family, and you guys are going to tell me, a lot of the people, my grandparents especially, did they go to the doctor more or less as they aged? More. I wish I was. Yeah. Did they spend more or less money? Did they feel more or less terrible? More. With you guys, that's not what healthcare is about. Healthcare is about getting you healthier. You should be going a place, you should be going to doctors that are focused on getting you healthier, that are teaching you about this stuff. Most people that come in our office, they have never seen an x-ray of their spine before they came in here. They've never had anybody explain this stuff. At the mall booth, we do the scans. Most people have never had those done. So how can you tell if your nervous system's working? How can you tell if you have damage without ever seeing anything of the nervous system, ever having it analyzed? What's it worth to know you have damage on the nerves? Because a lot of the things that we see here, people call them silent miracles. Preventative health is kind of awesome, but it's kind of can be frustrating for people because you never get the problem. What's it worth, though, to never get the flu, to never get the migraines, never get cancer? What's the value of that? When would you want to know if you had a nerve damaged that controlled your digestive tract, that controlled your balance, your posture, your sleep? You'd want to know right now. You'd probably want to know like 20 years ago so you could have prevented it in the first place, right? So if you're a guest or if you're a family member, if you have friends that you want to get healthier, it's essential that we see and check things out. So if you had to guess, being that you're all pretty much doctors now, doctors of chiropractic, who's healthier, the person on your left or the person on your right? Do you know them? What kind of problems might this person be developing? If this is their lower back, those are the hips. What kind of problems are they developing if we have damage to the nerves down here? Hunchback would be a good one. I'm going to steal two posters here and to talk about a lot of the different science behind this. So they talk about it. They talk about things from gallbladder, things from lower back problems, basic things in terms of the sacroiliac, menstrual problems, kidney disease. So they talk about how having things out of alignment, having subluxation, damage to your nerves, will literally cause these problems. And how chiropractic, by removing these things, help your body heal. If you had to guess, though, what's your body going to heal first? Back pain, hip pain, or the organs? Your body's smart. It's going to heal organs first. So that's one of the frustrating things for people is they come in and they say, well, it's been 2 weeks, it's been 2 months, it's been 5 months. When's the pain going to be gone? It's about your nerves and your health, your longevity. Would you rather have hip pain gone tomorrow and have the organs developing problems and have some kind of crazy things show up, or never have an organ problem and still have a little bit of hip pain in 20 years? Confusing. You're like, I want both of them going. I want to, yeah, so I hear you. This is the mid-back area. It goes for things like asthma, ulcers, goes for things in terms of like weird stuff like, kidney issues. You wouldn't think your mid-back would affect your kidneys, but neurologically, that's kind of how it's set up. So spine-wise, I think that everyone in the community, all of your friends, all of your neighbors, all your relatives should go to a chiropractor, not only me, but they should have their x-ray checked out to see what's happening. So we have about 400 to 500 offices across the world, 400 in the U.S., 500 across the world, where we do the same kind of care. So I always am happy to find you guys referrals. Basically, all that I really need is zip code, and I will go and find you guys a chiropractor for any family members or friends. If they're in the area, as you know, we do a complimentary evaluation and assessment. Get them in here. We have events coming up. You can see here, structurally, you guys have seen this poster before. That's your normal arc of life from the side. That is the stretched damaged version. Which one's going to get cancer first? Simple, right? If that was you, would you want to know if you have pressure or damage to your nerve system that's causing problems in your immune system? The article of the week this week was talked about gluten, talked about getting rid of gluten. The idea with gluten, you guys can see from the article, is that the studies are showing that there's cells in your, I'll show you, these are going to be 2 cells in your intestines. This is your small intestine cells, how they hook together like this. They call that junction in between them a tight junction. They say that gluten goes in and damages that tight junction, making it so that then in that area the food particles can sneak through there. We need a food particle. Anybody want to be a food particle? Sneak through there into your blood. Only I can see into your blood, and then your immune system goes and attacks it. So that's one of the problems with gluten. The other problem with gluten is we love it. I mean, you look at how it releases chemicals, very similar to things like even like the different from non-prescription drugs. When you eat gluten, it releases a lot of endorphins and things, so it tastes really good and you love it. But at the same time, what it's doing to your body is it's causing all kinds of problems in your immune system. So the article this week talks a lot about gluten. One of the things I've seen huge improvements with in my health was getting rid of gluten. In my family, we've seen tremendous improvements with getting rid of gluten in terms of weight loss, breathing, even things like mental focus and things like that. So gluten can be a huge issue. So the advanced plan really goes into that. We can talk a little bit next month about gluten, but if you read that article, it's going to make it pretty straightforward. The hard thing, though, is that it's in a lot of things. So if you want to get rid of it totally, you have to be very diligent. Even if you just eliminate breads and bread-like products, you see huge improvements. We've seen, like, if you watch some of our testimonials, one of our people lost 40 pounds in his first 6 months of being here. Guess what he changed? Bread and dairy. He got rid of bread. He changed to coconut milk. That was it. He lost 40 pounds. He's got a really neat video where he talks about it. Beyond that, though, his pain levels gone. I mean, his whole health and life changed. If you think about it, 40 pounds. I mean, our son weighs 17 pounds, and you carry him around for like an hour, and it feels like, you know, you're going to die. He's so heavy. So, yeah. So, any other questions, guys? Did we answer some of your questions? Did we give you some things in terms of blood tests to check out, foods to check out, supplements to check out? A lot of that times that covers people's questions. Some detoxification things you want to go home and look after. A lot of this stuff, too, is on our website. So our goal is to kind of, sometimes tonight, is to spark that curiosity, that question in your mind. So then you go to the website, you check out Mercola.com, you check out Natural News. You really start looking into this stuff, because whose responsibility is it for your health?
Me.
Yeah.
Our own.
I used to hear people say it's my insurance company. There's this card that I sleep, it's under my mattress, my pillow at night, I sleep next to it. It's going to fix all my problems. It's going to pay for everything. What's the reality there? I wish, right? My family, we had insurance. We ended up when I was 17, we had a medical bankruptcy. Right now, 60-something% of bankruptcies are caused by medical expenses. And of those people, 80% had health insurance. So it's not about finding a new plan to pay for your sickness and your pain and your suffering. It's about getting you truly well. How about we get you healthier so you don't have to suffer and have all those problems in the first place? You can stay well and get well. So if you can, spread the word about the events coming up soon, and ask me questions. Let me know if you want more resources. Our goal is to see you guys every year getting healthier and see your families with you, have you pulling those people healthier, pulling them in a better direction. All right? Thank you. Woo!